What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report. It is Saturday, the 23rd of August, 2014. Sorry for this late edition, but I fell asleep at the keyboard, and I just decided to go ahead and get a few hours sleep before I did this, because it's been a long week. I want to say thank you to everybody who hung out with me on my live stream all week while we were watching events in Ferguson. Thank you specifically to the live streamers who went to Ferguson to provide us those feeds. You guys rock. We really appreciate you. It looks as though the situation has died down for now. Probably will stay calm until the grand jury comes back. That could be a couple months from now. Anyway, first link below is going to take you over to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all of this madness I'm going to give you. Let's start off with this. Obama heads back to vacation after unexpected D.C. trip. Obama went back to Martha's Vineyard Tuesday evening after spending less than 48 hours in D.C., leaving people puzzled as to why he came back in the first place. I got an idea. Why don't you just move the White House to Martha's Vineyard? Then you wouldn't have to waste taxpayer dollars on fuel. Meanwhile, Holder visits suburban St. Louis, says change is coming after police shooting. Change, huh? I got some change in my pocket. I'll put a link to it. Media ITE. I will give Holder a little shout out, however. He did calm things down by coming here and telling people, look, the police once racially profiled me too, and I understand. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I do appreciate the calming of the situation, because it had the potential to get a lot more out of control. Anyway, CNN contradicts Fox sources claiming Darren Wilson had fractured eye socket. He has a fractured eye socket. He doesn't have a fractured eye socket. I mean, as much as I want to support local law enforcement, the silence from the Ferguson Police Department is just deafening. I mean, the dispatcher not knowing that there was a police-involved shooting in the first place. You know, the officer was injured. No, he wasn't. Yes, he is. You know, different witness accounts. I mean, if you want people to not call BS on the story, you've got to be transparent. You got to come out with everything you got right away. The secrecy is just what's making it all out of control. Anyway, San Francisco Gate, hundreds in Oakland march to support Ferguson protesters. Right on. If this thing did one good thing, it for one raised awareness about racial profiling and how it goes on. But for two, and more importantly, in my opinion, it raised awareness about the ongoing police state in America. Here you have reports on mainstream media all over the place. Are the police too militarized? Question mark. So I think that's a good thing. I think this raised awareness about a lot of different things. So hopefully, good comes out of it. We got other news going on. 30 states plus D.C. have requested help with possible Ebola cases, says the CDC. This from Breitbart. Meanwhile, did you catch what happened this week? A lot of people didn't recognize because of all the other fog going on. They released the 2 Ebola patients from the hospital that they brought back, from over there into Atlanta. The secret serum supposedly cleared it right up, and these guys were released. If that is the official story, then good for them. I'm happy for them that they made a full recovery. However, this Ebola situation is just suspect from the get-go. RT has this Ebola. I'll put a link to that story about them being released, by the way. Ebola crisis. Air France crews call for flight cancellations. This come out August 20. We have a secret serum that cures Ebola. Why are we not curing the people? Gunmen attack Ebola facility in Liberia as patients flee. This came out on the 17th. That's great. So Ebola patients all over the place in all different directions scattered. Meanwhile, be advised, my friends in Colorado, pet owners warned after plague confirmed in Colorado. This came out August 21, 2014. FYI. Other news, report says the CDC scientists kept quiet about flu blunder. This came out 15th of August 2014. The flu's gonna kill everybody. Go get your vaccines. Powerline has this. New Jersey's insane gun laws destroy constitutional rights. This came out the 14th of August. Moving on to other news. Wow. The computer catch up here. The Washington Times reports school police cleared to carry AR-15s in Compton, California. Okay. Hawaii News Now has this. Woman hospitalized after drinking poisoned sweet tea. Where'd this happen at? In Utah, be advised, poisoned sweet tea. And one more in the General Bend. Be advised if you use UPS. Data breach at UPS stores in 24 states. Come out August 21 from CNN Money. Over to financial news. How the stock market did on Friday. The Dow fell 38 points, closing above 17,000, however, 17,001.22. I think it was a pretty good week for the S&P as well. Hit records. The stock market continues to hit record highs. For the week, the Dow was up 338 points. I'll put a link to the market recap from ABC News. Meanwhile, pay attention, from the Daily Sheeple, a repeat of Black Wednesday. Soros bets $2 billion on stock market collapse. Massive inflation ahead. This come out on the 22nd of August. I believe this is on top of the bet he already made a while back on the stock market. I don't know, be advised, you know, the market's good. People are doing good somewhere. Meanwhile, from Hawaii News Now, 809-pound tiger shark is fed to the Texas poor and homeless. This came out August 15. Tiger shark. Guns.com has this: NYC mayor to pay ex-gang members $13 million to act as violence interpreters. I'll put a link to it if you're an ex-gang member. Get in it. Bling, bling. I got one more in the general bin. If this computer decides to catch up, I'll just have to read the headline. Judge warns. Actually, here we go. Judge demands answers after IRS contradicts sworn testimony on... I can't scroll down because the computer's locked up. I'll put a link to it. Over to New World Order Police State News now. SWAT team called in as siblings fight over a boat paddle. This come out the 17th of August. I'll put a link to that. Meanwhile, Police State USA. Indiana grandmother suffers violent SWAT raid after a neighbor uses her wireless internet. Please secure your wireless routers to avoid SWAT raid. Crazy. Police and lawyer release statements on student's alleged dinosaur killing. Is this the kid that wrote a story about shooting a dinosaur, some sort of class project, got arrested over it? This is what you're turning into, America. Meanwhile, we got this. One second here. We got students suspended for saying bless you to classmate. Don't say bless you when someone sneezes in school. You might get suspended. Unbelievable. Behind closed doors, Obama crafts executive actions. I haven't even read through this yet. This came on August 18 while all of the Ferguson stuff was going on. Stuff going on in the background. Be advised. Meanwhile, from Gun Saves Lives, is Obama administration using the VA gun lock scheme to create gun registry for veterans? Be advised if you're a veteran. August 14. Put a link to that. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Meanwhile, Obama administration releases 7,173 more illegals in 3 weeks. I think this article is a couple weeks old, so this is probably going on right now. From Red Flag, put a link to that. One more in the police state bin, talking about illegals in our southern border. Check this out. Mexico protests Texas National Guard troops on U.S. border. Yeah, the United States apparently doesn't have the right to protect its borders, says the people in Mexico. I don't know, I'll put a link to that. Over to, where are we now? World War III news. Give me a second, I'm letting things catch up here. A lot of ISIS news coming out this week. A lot of fear-mongering going on in the mainstream media. U.S. military tried but failed to rescue James Foley and other American hostages. This is from the Chicago Tribune. You got this story about this supposed U.S. journalist that's been beheaded. And, you know, a lot of people are calling BS on this. You know, I'm kind of in the middle. It really doesn't matter to me. You know, problem, reaction, solution. Of course, if it is real and the guy was beheaded, then thoughts and condolences to his family and whatnot. However, if you look around, there's a lot of people debunking that video and whatnot. Anyway, I'll put a link to that story. That's just going to give us the pretext to give you. I'm going to give you all these other links I got here. ISIS offered to swap Foley, terrorist wanted scientist who was caught with plans for mass casualty attack with dirty bomb, Ebola, and a chemical weapon. This is just a bizarre story from the Mail Online. I wouldn't doubt any of that. I'll put a link to it. Meanwhile, here's the, this is the beheading story preemptive to attack ISIS even further, because let me give you this. And this reminds me of all of the videos I've done over the years talking about Operation Blackjack and Jericho. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just put Operation Blackjack into your YouTube search box. You're bound to see my face. From WND, Ivanhoe says ISIS is strategizing to blow up a U.S. city. Really? This is crazy. Meanwhile, Zero Hedge has this. Chuck Hagel goes on full fearmonger. ISIS poses greater threat than 9/11. Prepare for everything. Chuck Hagel is saying prepare for everything. This come out 8/21. I'll put a link to it. Meanwhile, Dick Cheney, who's ran his mouth about this topic before, is absolutely certain there will be another mass casualty attack against the United States. Wow, it's crazy. The mainstream media is now putting out stories that I was called a fearmonger for talking about a couple years back. Now it's all like, I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs like, yeah, well, tell me something I don't know. Business Insider has this. Rick Perry, who's currently being indicted or whatever for, Rod Blagojevich, look up that whole thing, says there's a very real possibility that ISIS forces have crossed U.S.-Mexican border. In fact, CNN was talking about this morning. The anchor was actually up there saying, we're fighting ISIS in Iraq, but what would happen if they came to the United States? Is it possible? And I'm thinking, language warning, I'm thinking, yeah, you dumb bitch. Right now, we don't have a southern border. What do you mean do you think it's possible? Are you kidding me? That's actually, I said that out loud. No, but I'm just like talking to myself here. I'm like, are you stupid? Southern border, hello, Washington Times. Obama considering airstrikes in Syria against Islamic State. This came out on August 22nd. We couldn't bomb them over the chemical weapons. Everybody got all upset. No, we're not going to bomb Syria. Now, because, see, this is the problem, reaction, solution. They beheaded this journalist, gotten everybody all upset. Now we're going to bomb Syria. Okay, put a link to this. Your thoughts on all this madness? I'm not done yet. U.S. now faces threat of U.S.-made weapons in Iraq. Yeah, who armed? Who armed? Supposedly ISIS or ISIL or whatever the hell you want to call them. You got, what was it, John McCain posing with a picture of the head of ISIS months back, arming these people to the teeth. Now we're fighting them. Just another example of how the same people fight. They fund all sides of every war. American Thinker has this: Is Obama's distracted demeanor a national security risk? Question mark. I say absolutely not, because Media IT has this. Gotcha. After falling beheading, Obama making golf getaways difficult to defend. How can he be a threat? He's always on the golf course. I got a couple more here for you. South Korea says U.S. to start military drill despite North threats. I'm sorry, South and U.S. to start drills. I'm getting tongue-tied. It's just so much madness. More of that stuff going on. Lil Kim's going to blow up the world again. Anyway, NATO chief confirms Russian incursion into Ukraine. Put a link to that. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news now. Looks like there hasn't really been any big earthquakes. We got a 4.2 that was on 8/19, a 5.4 on 8/5. I'll put the latest from the USGS. Big quakes on the left, small quakes on the right. There's been a lot of little quakes. So that's good. We seem to be in a lull when it comes to big earthquakes. Meanwhile, have you seen this? Giant earth crack opens up along coast somewhere in Mexico. Check that out. They're saying it might have been caused by the San Andreas Fault. When did this come out? This came out on the 19th of August. Crack in the ground. Now, if that doesn't remind me of the movie 2012, I don't know. I'll put a link to it. Hurricane Karina maintains intensity as it heads out to cooler waters. Hawaii News Now has an update on that. They've also got tropical storm Lowell losing strength over colder water. This came out 17th, updated on the 23rd. A couple of those from Hawaii News Now. Put a link to those. And we do have one asteroid watch, 2002 CU11. Dr. Astro from GLP put together a thread on information. Thank you for that, sir. Appreciate your work. I'll put a link to that thread. Over to strange and bizarre news. We got people in Ontario thought my wedding lanterns were UFOs. This came out on August 15. Wedding lantern UFOs. Hawaii News Now has this: tourist swims for his life away from hungry crocodile. Reminds me of the movie, what was it, Lake Placid? Or was that an alligator? Crocodile? Whatever. It's all the same to me. Man answers his phone during his own exorcism, then goes back to thrashing about. It's come out August 14. I don't know. Meanwhile, police cadet goes on shooting spree at family party. Armed party goer takes him down. Well, it's a good thing somebody had a gun. I guess it's better that he goes on a shooting spree at a family party than he actually becomes a police officer and goes out on the street and kills a bunch of people. I don't know what's up with that. I'll put a link to it. Not really sure. One more in Strange Bizarre Ben. Alleged intruder arrested in Santa Ana after stripping and leaving his ID at victim's home. Okay, that reminds me of True Romance, where Christian Slater left his ID behind when he killed that drug dealer guy. I'm thinking, Christian Slater, what are you thinking? Anyway, guys, for all of the news, please check out my favorite videos. I have favorited lots of videos over the past week. Thank you to everybody who puts out content. I really appreciate it. At least pull it up and scan over the titles over there, see if there's anything you don't know about. Got some shout-outs this week. Shout-out to FPSRussia. Oh, my God. I never thought I would hear FPSRussia's real voice. He did a Q&A on his backup channel, More FPSRussia. If you don't want to know FPSRussia's real voice, do not watch that video. It may disappoint you. But nice to meet you, Kyle. Shout out to SheilaAliens. She did a great video. Banned chemtrails still entering atmosphere. NASA. She did. It's great to see her again. Welcome back. Good stuff there about chemtrails. Shout out to Stick 187. Put together a great video. It's almost a half-hour long. So if you got time to pull up a video, you're looking for a video to play in the background while you're doing some other work, definitely check out Stick 187. He doesn't put out videos that often, but when he does, man, like he says, real talk, really hits you in the heart. The man is all heart, in my opinion. He made a video about the Michael Brown situation. Just real talk. What can I say? Shout out to FLIR. A couple of, people are always asking me for some stuff, some positive stuff or something to smile at. Somebody passed me along a video. It was from August 21st, 2010, we watched it, about FLIR technology and the criminally stupid, about how FLIR can see you in the dark. I thought that was funny. It's like 3 minutes long if you want something to laugh at. And shout out, somebody started a thread over on GLP when we learned that the National Guard was coming into Ferguson. Somebody posted a picture in that thread of Thomas the Tank. Check out the picture of Thomas the Tank. I laughed at that. Thank you to whoever it was on GLP, I don't recall, that posted that. It was like 4:30 in the morning. I'm all, you know how it is after a long night of dealing with the news. I laughed at that picture for like 5 minutes. That was just really good stuff. Check out Thomas the Tank. Shout out to him. That's all I got for this week, guys. Another week of madness. If you liked the video, please rate. Give me a thumbs up. Or give it a thumbs down if you think it sucked. It's the worst of YouTube. You never want to see it again. Please rate. Helps it move around. I do appreciate it. You also follow me on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter for live show alerts, breaking news alerts, new upload alerts. Always posted over there as soon as they're up again. Sorry for this late edition of the Jericho Report. I passed out at the keyboard, and I'm just like, I just need a few hours of sleep. It's been a long week. But again, thank you to everybody for hanging out with me all week on the live feed. You know, we do what we do. Your thoughts on all the madness going on in the world. I would really enjoy your comments on everything. Do you think we're going to bomb Syria? Is ISIS already in the United States? You know, just... Obama's on the golf course. What else is new? Until the next one, you guys take care, stay safe, always. I will see you on the next one.